hit it. Like,
You know what's
fucking
even
go.
better? If you can consistently get more subs than us, you come here and you stream here instead of me, and we can just work on getting more swag for you guys.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, yeah, yeah. This whole rant, this came out of the idea that I find it interesting that when you, and this happens also to me, you know. Even though like I'm being so hardcore and I have this kind of lifestyle and stuff, this happens also to me. When you get consumed by, when your awareness gets filled up with entertainment, which can happen. You know, like if I discover a really cool new game or there's a TV show that's really cool or something, that can be like, wow, that's awesome. And that can be on your mind. Your awareness can be filled with that. What I find funny is, or kind of twisted, is you start like that moment you live in a fictional world. At that moment, for like just that, it can be a little moment, you know. It could be a few minutes, it can be an hour, but that you just live in another world. You have left the planet, and it's important. This is like what I tell myself. It's like what I tell my girlfriend and stuff. It's important that we don't lose track of the real world, because when you return to the real world, the only way you can respond to how shitty it is just be strong, have a fucking good mindset, and be like, there's work to do. Let's do it. Let's fucking fix shit. Let's fix shit. That's the only fucking logical response, man. It's the only logical response. It's to be like, alright, let's fix shit. There's obviously shit that needs fixing here. And it's a shame that society is not more focused on that, because most people don't even feel like that ever. They don't feel like that. They go to their work, they come home, they watch TV, or they play some games, they go to bed. They're no longer aware that shit needs fixing. That's fucking terrible. Isn't that fucking terrible? It's fucking terrible. Zachary Hale, thanks for subbing, man. Thanks for subbing. You know, people saying this is a sweet speech, this is a great speech. I'm really happy that you guys think it's a great speech, because I don't like, I like to keep, I normally keep those thoughts to myself. Like, we have a fucking insanely awesome community that nobody in the chat is fighting my words, because this is shit that most people really don't want to hear. It's shit that people don't want to hear. A lot of people, they just go like, I don't need to fix shit. It's not my fault. I didn't do shit. It's not my bad. Zachary Hale says, Reese, isn't this just another distraction though? You know, that's a circular thing. Here's my take on that. It's important to get not lost in concepts and labels, because the reality is still very simple. If you work to save lives, are you not doing the right thing? Just giving an example about saving lives, right? You can do other things that's also really good. And that's as simple as it is. Yes, it is right. It's good. You're doing like you're doing the human thing. Like a cell in your body is doing what it can to keep your body alive. You're doing what you can to keep your friends alive, to help humanity progress, etc. Like that's as simple as it is. If you get lost in concepts, then you start asking yourself questions like, yeah, but isn't it distraction? Or isn't that also selfish? Because if you like it, then it's like that is, in my opinion, you're already in the realm of intellectual masturbation. You know? Like, you get easily lost if you try to overthink things. The reality in the end is very simple. It's really, really simple. And when you just gotta imagine when you're faced with reality right in front of you. When someone's dying right in front of you and you can do something by calling an ambulance or something, you're not going to ask yourself, is this distraction? Is this not a selfish thing to me to do? Because I'm also going to feel good if I do it. You're not going to ask yourself shit. And that's where your humanity will come out. your instinctive, you know, urge to do the fucking right thing will come out because that's what you're designed to do. It's just that we're not confronted with it, so we have to intellectually use our brain's processing power to confront ourselves with it when we are not seeing it directly. Because
Well, I
it's not.
can give a really intellectual answer to that as well, you know.
Lay it down, bro.
Before we go to
Yeah.
before we go to new, what is it called, auditions? I'm gonna actually answer that question because it was something I struggled with when I was younger. Um like saying like, yeah, isn't everything selfish?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
like, if I do this for someone else, like at the end of the day, it's also selfish. The need comes from myself, so by doing so, like, yeah, I'm just being yeah, by just taking care of myself and not caring, it's just another way of being a selfish asshole than if I would actually help others. So why be all this yummy, just be a fucking douchebag? It's easier anyway. There's actually two answers I have to that answer, to that question. The first of all is doing that is actually being the stupid asshole.
Yeah.
If you go outside and you're being like a douchebag to other people, and you're actually just, yeah, a selfish motherfucker, like that is the stupid version of it. Like, you will feel more better by going outside and helping other people and making other people smile, because that's how you're wired. That's how your human evolution. That's why we're here, because we have a social empathic part in our consciousness, in who we are, that allows us to feel more fulfilled as a person. So if you go outside and you're a douchebag and you're an asshole, you're gonna, like, it's just gonna make you a more unhappy person. So even if you look at it from a douchebag, a selfish motherfucker asshole, you're the smarter version of an asshole if you just go outside and you just help other people, because that's what's gonna make you more happy. But then, like, there's another answer that I have to give to that. That is what I've been struggling with more from an intellectual point of view. Is that, like, yeah, isn't this all selfish? The thing is that when you say something is selfish, and you say I'm doing it for myself, then you have to define what the self is, because when you think about the self, you imagine yourself, right? Your body, your like your experience, who you are, your memories. But is that yourself? I mean, like, if you talk to yourself and you really go to the core, what is it? Is it your consciousness right now? Like, people will say, like, yeah, like okay, it's my consciousness right now. That's who I am right now. That's myself right now. But then, like, if you start questioning that, if you are wondering that question, like, if it is my consciousness right now, what is your consciousness right now? And that is why it's so important. That's why we did so much neuroscience, to figure out what we actually are. Because if you start talking about the self, it's important to be able to define it in a very concrete form. And if you then say, like, it's my experience right now, yeah, what is your experience? What is your consciousness? And it's really amazing when you look at neuroscience. When you look at neuroscience and consciousness and what you are, all neuroscientists agree on that consciousness is not something that comes out of a command center of this is who you are, and it's sending commands to all your parts of your body to direct who you are. No, consciousness is just something that unfolds automatically with all your neural network that is firing. It's your activity at this moment. So basically, if you want to eat, the reason why you want to eat is not because you have a command center saying, like, okay, we gotta eat now, let's send the command to your other part saying, like, you gotta eat now. No, it's because your part that is responsible for wanting to eat gets more active, and that's why you want to eat. It's that simple. If you wanted to go take a shit, it's because the part in your brain that is responsible to take a shit gets more active and more active and more active until you shit your pants. It's just how it works. It's like when you look at things from a neurological angle, it's very simple. So basically, you can ask yourself your question, like, if someone comes to you and starts yelling at you on the street, why do you walk away or punch him in the face? Is it because yourself is confronted with someone else in front of you and gives you the command to punch him? No. It's because it's the same thing as you wanting to go take a shit. There's a part in your brain that represents that guy talking to you and yelling, that is dissonating with you, that's creating frustration, and you want to get rid of it. The same as when you want to go take a shit. The reason why you want to go take a shit is because you want to get rid of that dissonance in your consciousness. As much as you thinking about yourself, and as much as you wanting to eat, or your need, your drive, your everything that drives what you do, your decisions, as much as that is directed by ideas that are more concretely like conceptualized as this is part of myself, there is no difference with another person in your surroundings manifesting themselves in yourself. When you look neurologically, there is no such a thing as external. Everything takes place in your consciousness. You watching me right now, me talking, takes place in your consciousness. It's not like the idea of the self is just a concept within that consciousness. And this is not philosophical. It's important to realize that what I'm saying here is not some kind of, oh yeah, new age shit, like, oh, we're all happy flower connected bullshit. No, no, no. This is just simple neuroscience, and just like starting to understand yourself. You know that there's some people that have a disorder where they have a certain part of their brain that is malfunctioning, and they feel like the environment and themselves is the same thing. They don't feel their body. It's really, it's a crazy malfunctioning. But it's just like the reason why you see the environment and yourself as two different entities is because it's multi layers within your consciousness that set a difference. But in reality, everything you experience is part of your consciousness, you know? And in that regards, when you then think about what is being selfish, the concept of selfish just makes no sense. The concept of selfish is a misconception because of our wrong, wrong warped view on identity. We have the idea that this is who I am, I have my name, I have my story, I have my... But it's just misconceptions. When you look at who you are, consciousness-wise, your environment is part of you. Your environment is just part of what you are. And by choosing your environment, by choosing your friends, by choosing what you do in your life, by choosing your environment, you're literally not just changing and shaping your environment, you're just changing yourself. That's what yourself is. And then when you look at it like that way, if you care about people around you, and if you help other people, that's as much as being a selfish douchebag as like that is more in line with being a selfish douchebag, even though the concept of being a selfish douchebag just makes no sense anymore, than having a psychotic warped image of, oh, cutting your own experience, this body, from that entire consciousness that makes up who you are. And when you realize that, when you really think about that, because it's really a crazy thing, it's a crazy thought, to look at your friends, to look at people around you, to look at your family, and realize they are part of what you are. Like, it's really crazy to be really aware of that, because that's what it is. I mean, it's not even hocus pocus, crazy new age shit. It's just how it is. Like, if you got someone else coming around you, slapping you in the face or punching in your face, your experience is that moment at that point. There is no such a thing as, oh, this is happening and this is happening. Like, you are a continuously changing, ever-changing entity. And your idea of, oh, this is what I am, and having like a fabric of like, oh, this is stonish. No, that's not what it is. Like, you're ever-changing, and your environment is part of that. And the sooner you start realizing that, the sooner you start to realize that being selfish is taking care of your environment, because that's part of who you are. And that's why also we're here, and why we've been able to take over the planet, is because that's just more in line with reality. Being aware that your environment is part of what you are. And I think it's like the idea of identity and ego dynamics has taken us a lot away of what we are, and has been a big confusion for a lot of people, and they struggle just with a ghost. It doesn't exist. There's no such a thing as this is who you are. You're ever changing. Every single moment you're another person, and depending on what you do, what choices you make, you will stimulate your neural network to be more trained at that. If you're a depressed fuck and you keep thinking like, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I'm fucker, I'm shit, you're training yourself to be a depressed fuck. If you go outside and you want to help people and you make other people smile, you will train yourself to make other people smile. That's just how simple it is. And you don't need self-help books to figure that shit out. You don't need to read all that kind of like Just be in line with what you are. Just have knowledge about yourself, and by default you will be a more happy person, a more fulfilled person, and you will make people around you more happy and more fulfilled because that's what you are. So yeah, that's the more longer answer to the self thing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, like I always start talking about this stuff and I keep talking about this stuff and shit, but yeah, like I think it's important for people to understand that.
Do you guys get it, or guys just think like Athene is tripping balls, yo?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit on the thin extreme, yo. So yeah, like Gods in the Neurons is a really good
Oh, yeah.
docu. You should really check it out. That shit, I mean, like show it to neuroscience, they won't even disagree. They will say like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a really really cool take on what you're saying. You know. Too long. TLDR is who's the next auditioner. That's the TL.
And if that's
too long,
TLDR sub.
Yeah, just
Soup.
soup. So who's the next one, guys?
Well, we got Wolgurdian, huh? Is he still here? Wolgurdian, can you get ready?
Is he here? Is he here?
Wolgurdian, you still here?
Let's have a look.